Hey Beav, it's time for Choose Your Adventure. You excited? Yeah, very excited, aren't we? What are we doing today then? What's Sagan doing? Oh, he's just licking his balls. Fantastic.
Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, where I, the crown jewels of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you. Yes, you, that lovely person there who's trying to dust the chip crumbs into the hummus or dip of your choice so that you can get a second snack. That's just smart thinking. Yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have Tricky Gamer Jacob to thank for their tricky suggestion of the best worst video game expansions. That's the wording that they use, the best worst. I decided to go with best. And then I started thinking, well, if it's the best of the best, then I really need to bust out the old catchphrase and have it of the best video game DLCs, and say it with me, kids, of all time! God, that was a good one. Now, this is the thing. When it comes to the video game industry at the moment, you can't really go two steps without walking into some horrid DLC. And in fact, the industry as a whole has gotten pretty bad with the whole concept of it, cutting out content that we used to get in our games for free and then selling it back to us on top of the base price of the game itself. So let's all just gather round and celebrate the best of the best. Grab your drinks, whatever you've got. I've got a lukewarm bit of tea here. Let's raise our glasses, or dear mug in this case, and say, cheers, you big ledge. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are the 8 greatest video game DLC/expansion packs. And say it with me, kids. That was really creepy. Say hello to me here in the live chat. Hello everyone who's here for the premiere. You're all amazing. Thank you for supporting this. Anyway, let's crack on with the list. Number 8, Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. So, as has been made very, very clear, the Red Dead series of video games is rather bloody good, isn't it? Even way back when it was just known as a little cheeky whippet called Red Dead Revolver, it was still setting the world alight. In fact, that's truly, if I'm being honest, my first sweetheart. That game was just absolutely amazing, my friends. But when it came to DLC and expansion packs, while Red Dead Redemption 2 arguably has a deeper and more engaging narrative experience overall, and they both have received, Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 that is, received massive online updates, Red Dead Redemption 1 still stands head and shoulders above the others because of the Undead Nightmare DLC expansion. That was glorious. Here, the entire tone of the title is shifted to a B-movie zombie gorefest, and along with it came new and terrifying enemies, a brand new visual aesthetic, and of course, hours upon hours of new and bizarre missions. The town defense distraction alone was a slice of fried gold, but the whole experience was just a level above anything else we'd seen before. Plus, the moans that those zombies make when they're chasing you, they still haunt my nightmares. As does the guilt of killing the last Sasquatch. I could have let him live, but I didn't. Number 7, Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. So if I could hop back inside my time machine that is this bike, let's just say it's this bike. If I could hop on my time machine and go back in time and meet my younger self, I wouldn't give him any useful information about the horrible, very worrying years of strife that he's got coming ahead of him. No, I wouldn't do any of that. I would instead tell him to just slap the textbooks right out of his hands, studying, you little idiot, and then I would tell him to go and play more Diablo 2. Why? Well, Simon, I'll tell you why. Because of the fact that it was one of the greatest video games ever made, and at that time, especially in the year of its release, especially with the Lord of Destruction expansion pack, I don't know why I did anything else with my life. And yes, I know technically this is an expansion, not a DLC, but you can get a CD key for it now, so I'm technically counting it. And it is utterly fantastic. You want a greater challenge? Boom, there you go. You want a ton of balancing that makes the game fairer without so much of a gloopy mid-game? Here you go, you're welcome. Do you want not 1, not 3, but 2 new classes, both of which are extremely fun to play? Yes, I know, it is the gift that keeps on giving. Adding in a ton of new lore and the fact that you could take on Baal himself was just, I would have bought the expansion pack for that alone, but the amount of quality of life improvements that they put into this expansion pack that made the game just so much better to play overall, it was just an absolute love letter to itself. A bit of an ego trip if you think of it like that way, but still, when you put the two footage side by side of the game before and the game once this expansion had released, it's night and day. Why would you ever want to go back? Number 6, BIOSHOCK 2 Minerva's Den. Now here's the thing, my little barnacles, I do love me some BIOSHOCK. That has been made very clear by the amount of times that I've carped on about it over the years on this channel. But today, I get to be a spicy little scallop because not only do I get to talk about one of the most divisive sections of the franchise, BIOSHOCK 2, but I also get to basically prop it up by saying, hey look, you might hate the main game, but it actually has the best DLC in the entire franchise, so shove that up your sucker pipe. Do fish have sucker pipe? In Minerva's Den, this submerged standalone adventure, you play as Sigma, aka the biggest of Big Daddies, who has been given the task of retrieving the programming code from a rogue AI known as the Thinker. Now, we need the Thinker because it has the cure to all of this pesky atom poisoning that's been going on, but the quest itself is anything but simple. Filled with delightful narrative twists and doubling down on the action-heavy shooting, Minerva's Den manages to express what makes the series so good without ever overstaying its welcome. In fact, you'll actually be depressed twice over once you finish playing this expansion pack. The first, because of the fact that the ending is a real tearjerker, and the second because, well, you'll just be sad because there's not more of it to play. Not sure if you should play it now. Number 5, Fallout New Vegas, Old World Blues. What's this? A doubling down of Jules' favourite franchises ever in a list of his own choosing? Biased opinions? What? Who said that? Yeah, it's Fallout New Vegas. I'm not going to stop talking about it until you all f***ing play it. All joking aside, we all know how phenomenal and experienced Fallout New Vegas is, right? I mean, from start to finish, there's so much joy to be had taking on quests and shooting off limbs of all manner of horrible beasties. Just do it, play it now. In fact, you should swing over to Live and Let's Dice on a Wednesday because I'm doing a playthrough of it with tons of Warhammer mods, which... it's made for some very crazy moments, and yet while the main narrative might put many other video games to shame, it's actually the Old World Blues DLC that comes out on top as one of the most charming and over-the-top stories ever told in a Fallout title. Leaning heavily on B-movie sci-fi schlock, the courier wakes up to find themselves without a brain, or as it's known around here, the morning after a night out with the WhatCulture Gaming team. I remember when I used to be able to be in the same room as them. Oh, it's not because of the current situation that's going on, I just got banned for getting a bit too licky. From this point on, it's all guns blazing as you try to rescue your missing appendages and try to take down the nefarious Dr. Mobius, who, as with all good Fallout villains, isn't as evil as things first appear. It's a non-stop thrill ride as you bumble your way through logic puzzles and also get to fight laser scorpions. How could you not want to play this? Although it did make me think, what if you could just remove your brain and have a little conversation with it? I imagine mine would still tell me that I'm very bold, even without having eyes. Number 4, XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. Oh, XCOM, why do you hate me so when all I do is show you love? I've no idea why I admired this series so much, because it basically amounts to it just taking a brick and just smashing my bollocks over and over again. But here I am, Muggins over here, just smiling and saying, thank you, sir, may I have another? And why not grind some glass into my eyes as well? The challenge that these titles provide are almost at a level of parody, with each subsequent release adding in yet more enemies that can obliterate your team and new hazards to weaken your already paper-thin squad. And at the top of this pile of pain is War of the Chosen for XCOM 2. The rebooted sequel already had a difficulty spike that you could impale yourself on thanks to the time restrictions that they added in and the fact that enemies were much, much better equipped than you, but War of the Chosen added in 3 new ultra bosses which kicked your ass so hard you could actually taste toilet paper. And you know what? The main thrust of this expansion pack is absolutely maddening because at this point in time in the game, the world is basically given over to this alien new overlord that's come in and you're basically leading a rebellion against them. And while that's going on, you've got these 3 other massive twats that are basically trying to put a spanner in the works to all of your plans that are held together with duct tape and hope at the best of times. And it's just like, please, just give me a break. Give me a goddamn break. And your heart is just going, why did you pay for effectively a cardiac arrest? I can't express how perfectly this encapsulates the series, and those that have played it will already know that I speak the truth. This is the chosen one when it comes to DLC. In fact, the best way to describe it is that Beelzeblob is the one that makes it, and yet me and the rest of the XCOM community treat it as if it was given by Slime Jesus itself. There he is, your Lord and Saviour. Praise him hard. You, Beelzeblob, get in the bin. Take that. Punch you in the head. Punch you in the head. Punch you in the head. Number 3, Sonic and Knuckles. Okay, I know that this isn't a DLC and that it's actually a physical expansion pack, but come on, it is that good. It's Sonic and Knuckles. Gamma. In fact, this expansion actually gets double points because not only is Sonic and Knuckles absolutely brilliant, but it's also a physical add-on as well, meaning that you got the joy of turning the original Sonic the Hedgehog 3 cartridge into a Frankenstein's monster. Luckily, the game played much better than this plastic abomination looked, as the 6 levels on offer here are truly, utterly brilliant when it comes to their design. However, the main meat of the whole experience comes in the form of playing as Knuckles. And I'm sorry, Tails, you've been severely outclassed here by this guy. I mean, when the game opens, when Sonic the Hedgehog 3 opens and he's just there riding on top of your plane and then he ditches you to go Supersonic and leave you behind, you know that you're already pretty much being relegated into obscurity. But when Knuckles arrives and he bum rushes Sonic and he just goes, have that, mate. You want some? Have a kick in, have a wee kick in, have a wee kick in. I've stolen all of your emeralds before you can even react. I'm laughing at you and then I'm scarpering. Sonic is super powered, he's super fast, and yet he couldn't stop this guy from just coming up and just being like, have one of them. Have one of them. You want a bit of bread with that? Boom, here's a fist sandwich. You know what, fans weren't even upset that you couldn't play as Tails because Knuckles' moveset was in many ways superior and made getting through some of the tougher levels an absolute breeze. He may have skipped leg day from this point onwards, but Knuckles and the series overall at this point was running at full speed. Number 2, The Last of Us Left Behind. So The Last of Us is a pretty emotionally heavy franchise, let's just put it that way. So much so that it's actually hard to describe how impactful it can be. So I think it's time for a song. Osley, are you ready to get sad? No, sadder than that. That's too sad. James, are you ready to get sad? It's impossible for you to be sad, isn't it? You're just like a puppy. Just try and mirror what Osley's doing, all right? A man named Joel came to show me today. Told me of this little girl named Ellie. Said she was the hope of humanity. I didn't believe it. You know why? Because he stole my goddamn porn mags. Sad day. My wife got bitten as well by a zombie, but I thought that at least I'd have the porn mags to tide me over. Looks like old Billy Bob's gonna have to ride the meat train solo, you know what I'm saying? That was The Last of Us. So The Last of Us has always been a series with a clear focus on immersion through character interaction. While its gameplay is rock solid and the atmosphere quite literally dripping with tension, by that I mean piss, at points, the relationship between Ellie, Joel and other survivors always makes for memorable moments. And come the heart sting at the end of the first game, fans were left clamoring for more, and Naughty Dog, in an exceptionally shrewd move, obliged. However, it wasn't so much a continuation of the tale, but in fact a prequel to the events of the main game. Here, while Joel is injured, Ellie must explore the surroundings for medical supplies, and thanks to a time skip, Ellie also explores them more as she deals with letting go of a close friend, Riley. In fact, the interactions between the latter two are especially heartwarming because the pair have this amazing back and forth. They argue, they play, they laugh, and it's one of those things where there's a lot going on here, and it never feels forced and never overstays its runtime, and all of this is encapsulated in a really, really short experience. You think that they would be labouring the point, but it doesn't ever feel like that. And that's what this DLC does, better than so many others. It allows the lore to speak for itself. It expands on the characters in areas that we wanted to experience more of. It deepens connections, and it has fun doing it. Brilliant stuff. And number 1, The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. Oh my god, there's so much content. Oh my god, there's so much content. I feel like I'm drowning in a vat of happiness when I play this game. Do not try and save me. Do not try and save me, boys. This is how I want to go. So the best way to describe The Witcher 3's base game in one word is most definitely noise. seeing as the narrative depth, near infinite side quests, and sheer level of immersion are almost unparalleled. But CD Projekt Red wasn't happy with just providing hours and hours of entertainment, and so gifted unto the world the Blood and Wine DLC. And this acts as basically like a vacation adventure for Big G, because when he arrives, the tone is much more cheerful and vibrant, and the interactions that he has with the other characters, they are more comical in tone. It feels kind of like Mario Sunshine, where the game you were playing before was Days Gone. It's quite a tone shift, but one that I really appreciated. And there are so many beautiful vistas that you would definitely want to send your family a blood-splattered postcard. Oh yeah, and it's also got vampires. I should have mentioned that at the beginning. It's got fucking vampires on top of all of this. They could have just given me the world to explore and I would have been happy enough, but no, it's got bloody steaky bakies. Go play this! Go play this DLC! And there we go, my friends. Those were the 8 greatest video game DLCs / expansions, and say it with me, kids, of all time! I don't want to scream because my girlfriend's on the phone. I can hear her through there, and she's probably going to be pissed off enough. But yes, there we go. Hope that you enjoyed that. Please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below, and put your suggestions for next week's episodes down there as well. And I'll pick one of them. I'll also hit my bloody mic. I'll pick one of them, and I'll turn it into a beautiful piece of gruel hosted by Jules for you next week. Hope that you have a fantastic day, whatever you're getting up to, my friends. Just treat yourself with love and respect. I know I keep banging on about this, but you are the greatest DLC, because you can unlock some goodness within yourself just by being kind to yourself and being kind to others, being there for people when they're down, because if you pick them up, if you build that solidarity, that friendship between you and another person, it can just pay dividends in the long run. Be kind to yourself, treat yourself with love and respect. You're a fucking big ledge. Have a great day. I'll speak to you soon. Peace out.